Hi, people. It's the 2nd of December. It's just afternoon. It's after 1 o'clock. That really doesn't matter. What matters is that we're here. I know, I'm all over the place. I did a little walk yesterday. Very little, because the first time I walked, I was with my sister, and she wore me out. She's out there just a trucking along like I could do that. I asked her if she wanted to go for a walk with me. She said she didn't realize it meant I was going to stop here, there, and everywhere. But that's okay. She doesn't understand my body, and she will not understand my body until she is my age. And even then, she could be better off, depending on what she does between now and then. Because she's 20 years younger than me, minus 1 month. So we'll just say 20, okay? 20 years younger. And here I've got these glasses on because I was thinking about reading. I got a lot of different things on my mind I'm thinking about, and I scatter. There's no doubt. And guess what? That rhymed. One of these days I'm going to sit and listen to all my videos and just take notes and use it for a resource. Because I do want to write some poetry. And I'm not sure of what kind. Sometimes it just depends on what's on your mind. You see that rhyme too? Trip. Anyway, we must choose to be happy. Okay, no matter what. I can't say no matter what because I'm not in those situations that are worse than no matter what. And I know people that there are a lot of them. I was just talking to a friend of mine, especially at this late date, this late time in the game of life. My friend is 6 months older than me. So here pretty soon she's going to have a birthday and she'll be 71. Wow. And I'm 70. It is a trip to turn around and look and say, wow, you've been here 70 years. Well, life has its ups and downs and all arounds. You do need to make good choices, but even then, even when you think you've made a really good choice, life hits and people change. People can change on you. And then you know for a fact, no, I don't want to live with that guy forever. So, like getting married for time and all eternity. That is a blessing. But I don't know that you are totally made to do that, okay? Like you go when you're young, okay? We'll say you go to the temple when you're young and you've got your whole life ahead of you and you just love this person and he loves you, and then life comes along and all of a sudden there's all these different trials and tribulations. Love begets sex, and having sex begets children. And then here come the children. Oh my. They're these little teeny things growing up right before your eyes. I think that might have rhymed. Anyway, it is true. We are raising human beings. Wow. And guess what? When they're little, they want input. Just like that Short Circuit, that movie called Short Circuit. My friend is messaging me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop it, though. We've been talking back and forth for about an hour. It's the most we've done in a many, many moons. Anyway, She is a wonderful person. I love her. Sometimes we just have so many bad things happen to us in life, it's really hard to get out from under that. Like learning how to love yourself. She's a good lover of other people, but sometimes, you know, life gets us down. On the ground. So, back to my little twist, going to the temple and get married for time and all eternity. That is a covenant between you and the Lord, you and your spouse and the Lord. But you do have to keep up your end of the bargain, okay? And when you go to try to get a divorce, a temple divorce, it's very difficult. They don't just hand those out. You're kind of stuck until you go through some hurdles or whatever. They want to make sure that you know what you're doing, because we do that. Time changes things. Different things change things. Temptation gets a hold of some people and they go down a path, and who wants to love that person? Not me. I'm really glad that I've never been married in the temple. It's probably not a good thing to say to some of you young LDS people, but really take marriage seriously. And I know you do. I mean, when I got married at 17, I was so thinking I was so in love with this fella, but it was all not real, okay? Because real love, you spend time together. You spend a lot of time together, and you grow together, and you have these certain things that are very important together. Meaning, how do you believe? What are you going to do with your life? I'm looking at myself and I don't look very good. I'm sorry. I need to go do something. I keep thinking I want to put some more castor oil on my hair. And then time keeps getting away from me because I have other things on my mind. If I'm not looking at myself in a mirror, then I forget that I need to take care of me. And sometimes I just got too much that I need to say and do, and I do. I get distracted very easily. And I have paths, P-A-T-H-S, paths that I need to go down, okay? I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And the thing is, like I've told you people before, when we die, we're not dead. We have just left this body behind. And we are now, I was going to say back with the sublime, but I'd have to look that up. You're going to go back to that God who gave you life, the Creator. And you're going to be happy. Unless you lived your life in such a manner that you are very unhappy. And part of that's going to be, we're going to see what we could have been if we'd have done the right things. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But making good choices, being with the right people, not letting temptation pull you in a different direction. Just because, oh, that looks so nice. Yeah, I'd like to partake of that. I can't, by my own experiences anyway. There were many times. But it is never what it's supposed to be. It's always a falsehood. There's always heartbreak when you make bad choices, I'm trying to say. And then sometimes our choices, maybe they're the right choices and they're leading us to a lesson that we need to learn. But I don't want to learn those lessons. Anyway, so we'll just say back to the part about loving yourself. What does that mean? Does it mean giving yourself all the things that you desire? Is that loving yourself? No, it's not. Loving yourself is being wise and not accepting anything less than what you deserve. Don't be chasing after this fella that doesn't want you. That's rather stupid. I chased a guy. I was obsessed by a guy years and years and years ago. My daughter was in kindergarten at that time. She was probably younger than that too, because I was fascinated and obsessed by a person. I think 8 years. What a waste. What a waste of time. I've said it in some of my other videos. I think he might have put a spell on me. However, I woke up in the middle of something. So that did not pan out. But that doesn't mean he hadn't done it to me before. Or get you so drunk you don't know what you're doing. Shouldn't be drinking too much, people. You need to be aware of what you're doing. You really do. You put yourself at the mercy of whoever you're around when you drink too much. Plus, it's not really appealing. I mean, if you go to a bar and you sit there all night drinking regular drinks, okay, or maybe having some appetizers if some are available, but you'll watch the crowd change from beautiful people into stupid people, into stupid drunken people. They went with the intention of looking all good, you know, maybe trying to attract somebody into their life. And of course, those people that they're trying to attract, they're going through the same thing. So everybody's all stupid and drunk at the end of the evening. And there you are. If you went out to do anything wonderful, who's going to remember it? I'm just telling you. Pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. And I've been there a few times. So that's not what I want to talk about. Don't really know what I want to talk about itself for you people. Make good choices and be devoted. I mean, if you're going to choose to be married to somebody, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does that just mean you have a bedtime partner whenever you want? If you don't treat that person right, you won't have that. Yes, I'd like to go to sleep with my fella and wake up with my fella, but what's going to happen the rest of the day? And what are our goals and where are we headed? And do you just want me for the time we have on earth? Or do you want to go with me somewhere through the galaxy? I'm serious, people. Just think about it. I mean, I'm going to read to you. Maybe I should just go to Acts. I started reading to you the New Testament, okay? And I started in Matthew. But I'm not sure that I want to just read the whole New Testament. But maybe I should. There's just, I remember there's some pretty, what's the right word? I don't know if amazing is the right word, but it kind of is. There's some things that happen in Acts. And what that is the acts of the get that out of your head. The acts of the apostles of the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ. When he was gone, they carried on And so the Acts is that. And I remember reading something that was amazing. That's the word I'm going to use because I can't think of the right word. I was going to say astounding, which is still along the same thing. I told you guys about it before, but I'm sure it was in Acts where there was a guy who needed an answer to something. And it was like someone was dispatched to him. In other words, someone from a long ways away all of a sudden was there to answer his questions. Well, I'm not sure what the deal was there, so maybe I should start reading in Acts. Now, I started with Matthew. I've done Matthew 1, 2, and 3. Jesus has been born. The wise men came to find him and give him gifts of frankincense and myrrh. I believe the first one was gold, but I'm not sure. So that's why I didn't say it. But there were 3 precious gifts that the wise men brought to Jesus. And I'm almost thinking it was gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But I could be wrong. Anyway, I hope you guys can hear me. I don't know if I turned it up. Ugh. If I didn't, put in your earbuds. Maybe you can still hear me. Sometimes I forget to turn up my volume. And I don't know if it matters or not, but it seems like it might. I got these little songs going on in my head. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby. Show me that you're mine, girl. Oh, yeah. So I want to turn that around and say, boy, you're man. Show me some kind of sign, man. Show me that you're mine. Mine, man. Anyway, that is a thing, you know, trying to figure out if you've done right. And life can get us down, and things can get us down. And did you try hard enough to get past that? How much do you love your person? And I'm saying the other person. But how much do you love your own self, this person? I don't think we know how. And it's definitely not about offering yourself all your desires, okay? Who do we want to be with forever? Is there somebody? Look at your partner. What do you see? Someone who loves you, or someone who is mean to you? It's important. You know, sometimes maybe people don't even realize how mean they're being. Sometimes they must not even hear the words that come out of their mouth. I've never heard such horrible, I didn't say that very good, I've never heard such horrible things come out of somebody's mouth and aimed at me. I've heard that, people. You tell me that's love. That is not love. It's almost like someone's possessed by a demon. Because I can't believe the nastiness, the evilness that came out of his mouth. And there I am. I'm supposed to live with this guy? I'm supposed to love this guy? You think so? Nuh-uh. And I did. My goal has been to have my eternal companion. But I have to have someone who loves me and respects me and thinks the world of me. It adores me. Now, you think that's possible? I think it's possible, but we're so busy reacting to the bad things. But how can we get to the sweetness? Love begets love. Sweetness will beget sweetness. Evilness, meanness, what do you think that's going to beget? You're going to get slapped. No, I didn't ever do that. But by God, I probably felt like it. By God, I'm sorry. You know, using the Lord's name in vain basically that's what they say anyway, is using their name when you're not really calling on them. You know, when you want to talk to the Lord, you use those words, but otherwise, don't be calling him. Like someone said, don't say words like that. Oh, let's see. That's not what they said. I got interrupted by that. My mom or my dad, either one, probably used it on me. You better call on someone who knows you. And I know that God knows me, but there has been times when I've been very distant to my Father in heaven and Jesus Christ. But I do love them, and I appreciate them, and I can see blessings. Sometimes we just can't see them right away. I've got a lot to do. I've got to pack up again. I don't want to, but, you know, that's just the way that is. And my sister's right. I mean, for a while now, I left things here, there, and everywhere. I think I've got them all. I mean, they've all been donated if I don't have them all. Now I'm at my sister's house, and when I leave, I don't know if I got enough room. But I've already been through all my stuff pretty good, so shouldn't have that much to worry about. I kept some books from my mom and dad. Church books. I told you about them. The Work and the Glory. I'm not sure how many. I think there's 9 books. That helped me to bring my testimony back into place. It was a long, long time ago that I listened to those, because they have them on audio books, and back then they had them on cassette tapes. Cassette tapes chew up. So you don't want those. You want CDs. And now I don't know what they might have, but nevertheless, maybe even Audible has it. The Work and the Glory is excellent, especially for members of the church. Members of the church, go back and listen to those books. Even, I didn't say that very well. The thing is, Gerald Lund is an excellent writer, and he puts you right there in the middle of everything. I mean, you feel it. You kind of see it and feel it and all that stuff. And there's a lot of members of the church who don't have a very strong testimony. Maybe they were members because their mom and dad were members. Maybe they were members because a friend brought them in, or whatever your circumstances are. But if you don't go back to the beginning of this church in 1830 and go through the things that they went through to bring this to us, you might not have a very strong testimony. You need to know. You need to know what happened back then. You need to know who Joseph Smith is. You need to know the great things that happened because of him. Okay? He was an instrument in God's hands. He translated the golden plates things were engraved, or I don't know, maybe they could have been written without being engraved. I don't know how that was, but these thin sheets of metal, because gold is soft, so maybe that's the case. But the thing is, I knew all that stuff, but I didn't. I definitely strengthened my testimony by listening to those books. They're pretty cool. And see, me and Joseph Smith, we are kindred spirits. I know a lot of people will probably think that's all crazy and stuff, even members of the church, but my patriarchal blessing, which was given to me when I was 16, told me profound things. Not just told me, but gave me blessings. It was a blessing from our Father in heaven to me, specifically to me. And every member of the church, when they become of age, can have one. And those of you who join the church and you're already older, you can have one. You don't have to wait. And it will be a blessing from your Father in heaven to you through a patriarch. Okay? But this is why I tell you people, I have a calling, and it came with me from the world before this. From when we were in the pre-existence, we were still with our Father and Mother in heaven. Okay? I need to find that book so I could just read that to you, but it's pretty powerful. It really is. See, in order for Joseph Smith to do what he did, he had to have great faith. And he had to believe. And not only that, people, he saw. He was already foreordained, okay, to do what he did. But he saw God the Father and Jesus Christ appeared to him in a grove of trees, I believe in New York, Palmyra. I'm not sure, the Hill Cumorah is where, I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty doggone sure. The Hill Cumorah is where the golden plates lay hidden in the earth, but not in the earth. There was a stone box prepared, and in that stone box were the golden plates. Also, the seer stones, a Urim and Thummim, that was attached to a breastplate. Anyway, also the sword of Laban was there. So I don't know how big this box was. But that was at Hill Cumorah. And they do a Hill Cumorah pageant every year, or they used to, and I bet they still do. I've not been to it. I've been to the Hill Cumorah, I believe, not realizing at my age how important that was. I've gone with Mom and Dad when I was 15 or 16, probably 15. We went on a trip from Utah back east and went around and saw people and saw things to do with the church, different monuments, different places. The Carthage jail where Joseph Smith was killed, probably the cabin that his family lived in, I'm not sure. But there are monuments and there's things written. Forget exactly what I was talking about except for Joseph Smith the Wonderful. Okay, I was talking about my patriarchal blessing. You members of the church, if you don't have one and you're older than 16, you can have one. You need to seek it out because they might not think about calling you and asking you if you want one. Okay, because the church is getting quite big these days. meaning amount of people and stuff and busyness. Life is busy and the church is way busy. Okay, so this is what I was telling you. Joseph Smith, he was foreordained to do what he did, to be the vessel, the one who translated the golden plates into the Book of Mormon. Well, what I was trying to tell you is that that takes great power and faith, even when you do know, because he was shown that there is a God, okay? So once you know for a fact, it's not necessarily faith, but then you might have faith that, I don't know. So we'll take that out of the equation. So for the power of the Holy Ghost, the power for him to be able to translate those plates. Okay? Well, I was told in my patriarchal blessing that I would have the same spirit of prophecy upon me as Joseph Smith had when he translated the plates. I will have that same power and spirit of prophecy when I teach the Book of Mormon. Okay? So it's very important for me that I do that. I want to share the Book of Mormon and I want to teach about what I know. And every time you read, you learn more. And that's where you find, I know. Is learning, okay? It's really important, and especially when I was thinking maybe I don't have long to live, that I need to do what I was supposed to do. I mean, I've always stood for the Book of Mormon, even in my youth, but I could have done better. And it's time to do better. So, I'm just telling you people, I will endeavor to read some things, especially out of the New Testament, because I need to learn. I mean, I was up there on that mountain for at least 10 months, and I was bored, stiff, kind of, sort of, because I was there by myself, okay? When my daughter was in school, she was in kindergarten, so during the time that she was at school, I was by myself. And what I was living with was beautiful nature. 500 acres, cows all over, animals all over, and green hills and trees, and just beautiful surroundings. But no people. And I had this urge. I am sure that God gave me that. I had this insatiable, is that the right word? Urge to learn. And the only thing I had to learn from was the scriptures, so that's what I did. There's a lot there. I figured things out, some things, you know. And Jesse was 5. That's when I wrote that paper. I was 27. Turn on your light so you're not in the dark. That's really good. And I know good and well that I affected Harry Potter. Dumbledore was greeting everybody. I don't remember which movie. But if you listen to my article, which I read on here, and then go back and check that out, you'll see. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one will but remember to turn on your light. That's That's as best as I could. That was Dumbledore. That's in the movie. Well, my paper that I wrote, which was 43 years ago or more, right around then, I had just told my daughter to turn on her light so she was not in the dark. She was in her room and had been playing, and the light, you know how that goes when the sun goes down. You don't even realize it. You're in your room, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, it's dark all over the place. So anyway, I was just telling her to turn on her light so she would not be in the dark. And then I said to myself, wow, what did you just say? Or I said, listen, whatever. What did you just say? And I was saying what a profound statement for finding happiness is to turn on your light. You know, like flip a light switch and let there be light. Well, light also means understanding. Light means a lot of different things. And so what I did was I had started writing in a journal because my mother had given me a journal. And so I took it upon myself to go write what I was thinking about that statement. So I took all the different words and put meanings next to them. Kind of went down a list, okay, put the word, and then I wrote what I thought about that word. And then I put down another word and wrote what I thought about that word. And da 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 da. It was not a long process. It was immediate, okay. It's like someone's outside my door. Anyway, by the time I got done, then I wrote a synopsis of what I had written, what I'd torn apart. I need to go find that and read it to you. I will do that soon. But if you look it up, go up to the little search thingy and put turn on your light so you are not in the dark. Every word, put that up there, and then put on lose touch. LOU apostrophe S space TOUCH. It should come up. Let me know if you try and it doesn't. Now the scriptures, when I'm reading the scriptures, I'm always saying, I put the place and the chapter, but I don't use the word chapter, I just use 1, 2, 3, whatever. And then I put read by Lou, R-E-A-D, by Lou, on lose touch. Very important that you put lose touch, because you're not going to find me. There's a million people writing about all these things. It's amazing. It bothers me when I go try to find myself and I can't. I'm going, ah. But anyway, the point is, I will endeavor to do some reading of other scriptures. But what I must say is, I'm not a good reader. And sometimes it does bother my head and puts me to sleep. Me trying to endeavor. Like I mentioned the other day, you know, there's a word I've never seen or heard, and there I am trying to pronounce it and also know what it means. And so my head, I'm trying to understand what I'm reading, and my head's putting that all together, and it's not working well. So it puts me to sleep. It really does. So I've fallen asleep when I tried to read Jesus the Christ to you guys. I was reading the second chapter, and I fell asleep twice, I believe is all. But it was pretty heavy. Pretty heavy stuff. And big words. Or maybe they were little words, I just didn't understand the words, or whatever. But, so, my point is, I'm going to get to my point, because I'm going to say goodbye. What is my point? My point is, I want to try to share the Book of Mormon on the air. All the scriptures are important, okay? And I'm not discounting any of them. It's just that my head, we're lucky that I can read the Book of Mormon. And my point is I want to read it for myself and for you. I know a lot about it, but I haven't read it all. I have a lot more to learn. But I know enough that I know it's true. I know that it's real. And I know that a young man of the age 18 has not got this knowledge within him. Okay? When he translated the plates, he used the Urim and Thummim, the stones that were attached to a breastplate. He could just read it. He didn't have to decipher what does this word mean. He had the power and the gift of the Holy Ghost with him. It didn't take him all that long, really. I mean, I don't know how long it took, but it didn't take long for him to put that book together. And then to find someone to pay for the, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the words, but pay for printing, publishing, printing and publishing. Well, okay, printing. Got it all printed. And then those few members, because when the church was organized, there was only six. 6 men took part in organizing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in 1830. Okay, got that? 30. I know I've got to work on having teeth. Ugh. Nevertheless, people, just listen to the words, and the words that I can't pronounce, I will spell, and we'll see what happens. So, I got to do a whole lot of scripture reading to get to the parts that I want to get to, unless I just do it willy-nilly, meaning here and there, and yawn. The work and the glory, I was talking about that. For you people who are members of the church, if you've not endeavored to listen to that, you should. It really did strengthen my testimony, and I knew a lot, okay? But hearing it, I don't know about reading it, but hearing it was just really great. And then when I heard also the kingdom and the crown, that's all about Jesus and when he was here and all that was going on. And Gerald Blunt, again, did that. And he puts you right there. You might be right next to Jesus on the street. I mean, in your feelings, in your mind, or whatever. So I'm just saying, people, there's some really great things out there that you could partake of that would teach you a lot. Plus be enjoyable. Okay? The work and the glory is good for everybody. But I'm saying especially you members of the church that maybe your testimony's wavering some. And I especially like book number 3. I'm pretty sure that's when there's some missionaries that go up to Toronto, Canada. I'm pretty sure that's the place too. They went up there on a mission, okay? And they went into this town. I don't know if it was Toronto. I don't know if that's a town or a province or whatever. Anyway, it was probably just 2 of them. They went to this place and stayed. I don't know who they stayed with. They were, even Jesus, when he told his apostles to go out, he told them, my cat looks weird. Not to take money. That's what script is, okay? When he said no script, he's talking about money in his purse. These missionaries, the apostles that were going out preaching. They were to go without a change of clothes, without anything, except for their faith, probably, so they can teach. Anyway, telling you a whole bunch about nothing. I just really like this part. So you people out there that are listening that are members of the church, it's interesting. Book number 3, okay, An Experience in Toronto, Canada. There was an area, there was a church, there were people, not members of our church, okay, not members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because that was right in the beginning, okay. Anyway, they just went to church and listened. And I don't know how it all came about, but, you know, it's like they had scripture study all the time. And somehow, you know, like they spoke up and said something, or spoke up and said something, and then maybe they just really spoke up and said something. But what happened was, this church was waiting. They were ready, and they were waiting for the truth. And when the truth came out, I've got cold chills. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that too, because I can't remember exactly. But I know they were waiting for the news, for the good news that Jesus Christ Church is here again on the face of the earth before the second coming of Christ. I know he's coming soon, but there are so many things that still need to happen. But things can happen in a blink of an eye. You never know. And I know from my reading up on that mountain when I was doing all my studying and stuff that 200 years is pretty important. And so I think to myself, you know, the Book of Mormon, first vision was in 1820. The organization of the church was in 1830. And I can bet that that's about when they had the Book of Mormon printed. I'm not sure. I'm just saying I would think. So, 200 years from 1830? We're 200 years from what date? But 1830, 2030 is coming up pretty quick, people. I just want you to know that the true church of Jesus Christ is on the earth today. And it's everywhere that we can be. Everywhere that they will allow us to come. There are missionaries teaching. And you guys out there, I know you see them. You'll see 2 guys riding bikes and they've got suits and ties on and they've got a name plate on them saying they're Elder so-and-so from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It would behoove you people to let them in. Listen to what they have to say. Start your journey today. And you don't got to wait to see them. You can call the church. You can get online. Go to lds.org. I bet you there's a place on there where you can ask for the missionaries to come. And then if, I wouldn't say if that doesn't work, because you can try several avenues. You can call the church. You can find phone numbers for the different wards in your area. You can call and ask for the missionaries to come. I know I'm not a perfect individual. I never said I was. Okay, don't judge the church by me. I'm just telling you. I know from both sides of the street. I grew up in the church, and it is so sweet. That rhymed. I just had to say it. It is. The love of Christ is there for you. No matter the condition you're in. Spiritually, find the church. You want to know who your best friend is? It's God. And all those people that belong to the church. We're all children of God. Now, we're all children of God, okay? But especially those in the church. He is at the head of the church. And there's nothing harmful in the doctrine. Okay, I was going to say nothing harmful there, but sometimes some bad people get in and they have bad intentions, so they don't let us know. We have to find out. But the point is, people, if you're looking for a church, if you're looking for spiritual help, find the church. Okay, so that's enough of that. I do need to get off of here and go find something to eat because I'm at that moment, I haven't eaten and it's getting later in the day. I've had coffee, but having coffee I've had some creamer and that's got some sugar in it. I'm amazed that I'm doing as well as I'm doing, especially with high sugar levels sometimes. But I am taking what my doctor said at my last visit to heart. And that is, there's no cancer activity on my PET scan. I'm not sure if she said there was some in between my lungs, but I did hear those other words. She says, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to draw cancer markers in your blood, draw my blood for cancer markers. She's not going to do that test because she's going by the PET scan. And she said, there is no cancer activity. Still have to take the treatments. And I need to get that ordered. I'm going to order some more ivermectin. I've taken 2 tubes. I have 1 dose left, okay? So I got to get some more. And I don't know the dosing, how often, all that good stuff. I just decided I'm going to do it. And it could have been what affected my PET scan. I mean, it could also be the treatments, but it also could be the ivermectin. And I'm not going to rule that out. In fact, I would like to get off of one of these things, these injections. I don't want to do the injections. Take my pill, it's a hormone blocker, and then take the IV, the thing that's helping to build up my bones. And I have to have the calcium and the D3 in order for that to work. And a lot of liquid, 64 ounces of liquid a day. They don't care what kind of liquid. In fact, they even suggested sports drinks and stuff like that. But probably, to build me up as far as energy goes. But at least it's not 64 ounces of water. But I need water too. And for certain things, I don't want sugar. And I believe sports drinks has a lot of sugar. So, just saying, there's different things that I'm fighting. And one thing is, when you're fighting cancer, and they should know that themselves, they shouldn't have even suggested sports drinks. They want it to work, to build up my bones and stuff. But cancer loves sugar. So why would they tell you to take sugar? I'm trying to just do, as far as stevia, as far as sugar goes, I'm trying to do stevia because it is not sugar. It's not refined. Well, I don't know if it's refined. You know, I heard Barbara O'Neill today call sugar acid. Maybe it's because it builds acid in your system, and cancer loves acid. So I'm not sure about all that. But I'm happy with the results of my last PET scan because I was so worried. I was so worried that it had spread all over the place and that it had grown. And she couldn't see any activity, which means to me it's dead. But it could come back alive, I guess. You know, like they say, it's microscopic. So I don't know. I'm just going to continue on with my ivermectin, and I'm going to continue on with my treatments until I figure out better. And I told you guys that one of the ladies who hooked me up, she was telling me under her breath, but she was also telling me that there are other things to kill cancer that might take longer. But she said there are long-term side effects with what you're doing, like kidney failure. Okay? That's not a good thing. I've got all that paperwork she gave me. She gave me the paperwork out of the box. You know, they took the medicine out of the box to give to me, and she gave me the paperwork. But it's so much reading and such little print, I haven't done it. I have to be of a stable mind, which means I get headaches easy because of stress and decisions and different things that is going on in my life. It's causing me headaches. Trying to figure out where I'm going to be. And I got to figure that part out first because I don't want to start new stuff, new doctors and all that stuff, and then not be there. Kind of a shame. I started to say a sin. Anyway, the point is, I just wish that I could say, okay, I need this done, and let me have it done. But they can't. I mean, I talked to my doctor about it, and they can't. So, in the meantime and between time, I love you people. Enough to tell you things, even if you don't want to hear it. Or maybe tell you things that you might want to hear, but you didn't know. So I'm hoping that I can share with you people. I'm so excited. I don't know if they're listening to very much. I know some of them are listening all the way through. But I have 303 subscribers. To me, that's a lot. And then I have almost 102,000 views. That's exciting. It's way exciting. So you people, if you find something you like, I know. Someone said, the point is, I want you to share me, okay? If you listen to something and you hear something that sounds really great and maybe you got a friend that needs to hear it, please share me. Share that particular video. Send it to them. And then, you know, if you don't think they want to listen to the whole thing and maybe it's towards the back, what I said that you liked, then you might look at the video to where that happened and tell them to fast forward to so-and-so place to hear what I had to say. Here in the future, I'm going to start doing shorts again. But first, I got to just figure out what I'm doing. And one of the things I need to do is get packed up. I've been using a room at Nancy's that was really meant for her daughter. And she needs to get in here. And I need to get out of here. So that's the plan, trying to figure that out. I want her to have her room. I want her to enjoy her own space. And I want my sister to enjoy her space. So, kind of important. So figuring out this treatment stuff, that's the deal. I need to get that paperwork out and do some reading. I need to look it up online. It's in my purse, but I'm not sure where my purse is at the moment. I should get it and tell you what it is. If you find yourself in similar situation, you might not want these things. But then again, maybe you might want these things for a little bit. But then someone was saying it might come back with a vengeance if I stop. So I don't like that. All I know is I am going to continue to take ivermectin. And I'm going to continue with the pill that's a hormone blocker, the lesser one, because what they're saying is all of the different treatments are to do with hormone blocking. So, I have a lot to learn. But I'm thankful. I am so thankful of where I am. I get messages, they pop up on my iPad. I'm using my iPad so you can have a full screen. But even on my iPhone, the messages pop up. Comments to other videos or whatever. And I do love that, being called sister. Because that's the trip. We are brothers and sisters of the realm, of the kingdom. We're children of God, and we have things to do, people, okay? And then look at that, you got kids. How many kids do you have? Well, they have things to learn too, and the sooner you start, the better. And the happier your family will be, really. Love each other. So hard when someone's mean to you to turn around and love them. But just remember, that is what Jesus was talking about when he said, turn the other cheek. He didn't mean for you to get smacked and then turn your face and get smacked again. No. What he meant was, when someone is like smacking you, you know, like calling you bad names or whatever, the only way to stop that is to be peaceable and loving. I mean, you need to tell them, stop it. Don't treat me like that. I don't deserve it. But it is true. Hate begets hate, begets hate, begets hate, begets hate, and it keeps growing stronger, bigger. These wars out there, why do we hate those people? Because our leaders told us to. I mean, I could say a few things that I'm sure people wouldn't like, but I've heard in the past that our men are over there guarding poppy fields. What? Why? Because that's what we use in our medicine. It's not just that it creates heroin, but the medicine that we use. That's why. Big Pharma. Big Pharma's got it all locked up. You tell me these wars are not about drugs. We can't have it unless someone controls it. And the only way we can have it is if we spend a bloody frickin' fortune at the hospital, through the doctors. I'm just telling you people, you think about the hinge pens. I don't know if that's what you call it, but you think about the mafia and the drug lord and those who, the little army of people that go out selling their wares. Same thing, people. It's just that the government wants it all to themselves. I know. Watch what I say. You do need to realize. I mean, I told you guys a story once. I'm at my dad's and my mom's, because they both were alive then. I was at their house for a visit. Just a little visit, maybe a week. Flew in, got to fly back out. Went through a lot of trouble just to do that, people. You have no idea. I'm talking to my family. Never around. I was never around. But when I was around, it cost me. It was a big deal. But that wasn't the point. The point is I'm at my mom and dad's. And everybody's coming in to visit. I don't even know what the deal was. If it was just because I was there, or if me and Nathan had planned on being there at a certain time. But all of us kids got together at mom and dad's. And of course, it's not just us, it's their families they bring along. And I was the one who was the black sheep who went out and did drugs. I tried things. I went through a lot of bad things, like divorce, like my world crashing in. That was before the drugs, people. Anyway, just saying, I'm sitting there, and all the people who came for a visit, all of them, talking about the ones who were going to stay in the house, okay? My brother and my two sisters and their families. My brother usually came by himself. But they all had bags of drugs. Mom and Dad had a cabinet, a whole big old closet. It wasn't big, it was a small closet, but it was from the ceiling to the floor. All these shelves full of drugs. Different things, but similar. That would be like the pharmacy place, and it was supposed to be locked. But anyway, so Mom and Dad have their cupboard full of drugs, their closet. And then in comes my family. And every one of them had drugs they had to take. Big pharma drugs, okay? They weren't out doing what I was doing, but they were still doing drugs, and they still had their own drug dealer. They had to go through a doctor to get a prescription, to get a drug, but they had them. They had tons of them for each member of the family. And I don't know if I said it to them, but I've said it on here before. I said, and you call me a druggie. Ha! Give me a break. The only difference was I went on the street and found mine. I didn't go to the doctor and get a prescription and go down that road. And my drug was only pot. I didn't do all those other things. There was a time when I did do some other things, but not like a lot of people, because it can tear you up. Like loving cocaine. Cocaine is wonderful, simply marvelous if you get the good stuff. But who can afford it? Next thing you know, you're hooked on something that's really super good, but it's not so good if you can't have it. If you can't find it, you can't get it. You have no money. And people have lost their homes. I mean, people have lost a lot of things because of the love of cocaine. And then there's meth. Crystal meth. Oh my. I don't think I ever really did have the great stuff. Probably a great blessing that I did not. But energy, yes, I need energy. And I need focus. And I know that, what's the name of that? There's a drug that is for ADD. And it's not Adderall. It's the other one. Vyvanse. Vyvanse. I took Vyvanse. Um, One of Joe's friends, who is now dead, anyway, she was taking over 30 different prescriptions a month. And she would get her drugs, and then she would kind of split them down and only keep so many for her and then sell the other ones on the market to get money. And I did try the Vyvanse. And I know from experience that it worked for me. It didn't speed up my heart and make me go crazy. It made me focus. I could actually get something done than running around in a circle, or maybe I got so much to do and all I can think of is how much I have to do and I don't get anything done. But I found, and I know for a fact there were a couple of times there that I had pot. I didn't have pot that much, but I had a little pot, so I had a little buzz from the weed, and I had the Vyvanse, and oh my, what a difference. I mean, I could really feel it. I could feel it, and I could get things done. Me and Joe were making Christmas presents to sell. I mean, we always had great intentions, but the follow through, get someone to buy them. I had my store all laid out at my house in Downs. I had a big old house, and I took up the basement with all my Avon. And I don't know, I had movies of it, but I probably lost it when my page got hacked. All my pictures that I had on Facebook are gone. When they came into my house thinking they were going to find all kinds of things, we're talking about in Downs, they went downstairs, and I heard him. I heard the one cop say to the bigwig, because they had some big guys with them, he says, "We're going to find it down there." That's where they got it. I just got a message from somebody. I'd like one of those too. I'd like to have me a strawberry daiquiri. Yes, I would. Those taste good. But I do have to have food going on. I have to have a peaceful, already okay brain, or I'd get sick because it would be too sweet. That's wonderful. I'm so glad that I have friends on here. It is nice to share the love, and people need it. We all need it. Anyway, I do need some food. I'm getting sick, so I'm going to have to go. But I just wanted you guys to know that I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Holy Ghost. I believe that we have a work to do, all of us. And the sooner we get on board, the better. You know? And it'll bring you happiness. So when I'm reading the Book of Mormon, I'm just trying to share God's word with you, because it is more pure, more plain, more easy to understand, and it fills in the gaps that are missing in the Bible, because things in the Bible were taken out by the great and abominable church of Satan. Okay? You guys let that melt in your little head. The scriptures are great, but there are things missing. And there are things there that are purposely put there to make you stumble and make you not believe. This Book of Mormon fills in all those gaps, people. I told you before, this is my own description, okay? But the Bible, we'll just say the Bible is a lovely, beautiful, good tasting cake. And then you take the Book of Mormon. I was just going to add a couple words to that. In other words, you take the Book of Mormon. That's the icing. It's the icing on the cake. They work together. Okay? The Book of Mormon is to help you people. And you'll see it if you give it a chance. And I'm just going to say I love you and let you go. And we'll do a little dance. I did work on some Zumba. And that, what's her name? Natasha. I can't pronounce it. I can't see it from here. But it's a little teeny name. But Natasha. Do Zumba with Natasha. It's beginner friendly. And if you can't be walking a lot, you can walk a little and sit down and get up and walk some more and sit down. Do what you need to do. I'm going to use her because I think that's great. And yeah, I tried walking yesterday and I just didn't do too well. Of course, no way. My sister's 20 years younger than me and she's moving right along. And that's what she's wanting to do because her heartbeat is up. Her heartbeat is racing, I guess, or I don't know if it's racing, but it's up way higher than it's supposed to be. And walking, in case you don't know, walking is really good to help lower your blood pressure, help lower your blood sugar. So, think about that too. And it's good when you can do it in your own bedroom. No one has to see you. And I shouldn't get on here when I haven't washed my hair. I'm terrible. But the words should be good, okay? I hope you can stick around and check them out. And I'll do better, I promise. The future's coming, and unless we're dead and gone, I have to take that back because the future is still coming when you're dead and gone, okay? But I'm talking about there comes a time on this earth. I mean, work needs to be done here. And if you're dead and gone, you can't do it. Got it? Don't waste your time. There's a lot you need to do. And not just for you, but for your family. Think about that. And we're talking about your family that's dead and gone. They cannot do the work because they don't have a body and they're not here. Okay? The work has to be done here. In the millennium, we're going to be able to do the work. But we don't want to wait. We need to get on the stick. We need to get busy, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to go eat. Because I know that there's some leftover potatoes in that fridge down there, and they're homemade. That's one of my favoriteest things. Homemade mashed potatoes. So, I think I'm going to go get me a bowl and get me some butter and some salt and pepper and enjoy. Potatoes are carbohydrates. But, you know, there's good carbohydrates and bad. We need carbohydrates to function. Okay? So, that doesn't mean spoons full of sugar. And it doesn't mean bread. But it does mean you could have a little bit of bread. Butter is good for you. Even though it's dairy, it's a good fat. It's a good fat inside your body. So, the butter, and then if I use pink Himalayan salt on my potatoes, just don't get too carried away and have too many potatoes. But you know, potatoes are carbohydrates, but you still need some to function, people. Okay? So what they say is portion matters. So don't have a humongous portion. Have a medium portion. And eat lots of vegetables. In fact, I think I'll do that. I think I'll go have me some broccoli. Broccoli. Buy a bag of broccoli for $1.16 at Walmart. You know, it's the cheaper stuff. But you buy a bag of broccoli and then you have some butter. Butter is something worth spending some money on. And yes, it'd be better to get butter from the farm. It'd be better to get everything from the farm and not from the cows that came from the feedlot. But nevertheless, portion size, people. And now I've talked myself into it. I'm going to go have some broccoli and butter and salt and pepper. And I'm going to have some potatoes. And that's what I was saying is, when you eat the potatoes, it's good if you'll eat the vegetables with it. It will help. Okay? You know I'll be back. You guys take care. I don't think I did any reading in this session. I just did a visit. And I'm already in an hour and 20 minutes. I'm a little bit on the crazy side. You guys take care. I hope that you will listen. And you know what? I will say, I'm not going to do this all the time, but I will say if there's something particular that you need to understand from the scriptures, let me know what it is. I don't know if I can help or not. But you know, like reading, if you want a certain scripture read and it's not too long, I can go and try to do that. But I would like to know what it is you want to know about that. Okay? So I'm just saying, if you want to put a suggestion in the comments of something that you're wondering about or interested in, let me know. Maybe I can help you. Okay? You guys take care. And I've got to go eat. Bye, y'all.